Tired of chasing approval that leaves you empty and exhausted? In this video, grab the exact 12-chapter blueprint to love yourself more than anyone else, starting today. Welcome to Audiobook World, your go-to for self-improvement masterclasses. Inside, you'll discover Chapter 1's Wound Healing Truths, Chapter 6, Self-Compassion Alchemy, and Chapter 12's Eternal Flame Rituals, transforming doubt into unbreakable self-worth. Hit subscribe and use timestamps below to jump in. Your self-love revolution starts now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing before a vast, ancient mirror in a quiet forest glade at dawn. The mist curls around your feet, and as the first light touches your reflection, you see just your face, but every scar, every doubt, every unspoken dream etched into your soul. You've spent years chasing shadows, approval from lovers, bosses, friends, who dimmed your light without a second thought. But what if I told you that the greatest betrayal wasn't theirs, it was yours? This is your awakening. Over the next hours, we'll journey through the hidden chambers of your heart, dismantling the walls you've built against your own worth. You'll learn to love yourself, not as a fleeting resolution, but as a fierce, unshakable flame. Feel that pull already? Good. Your transformation begins now. Let's step into the mirror together. Chapter 1. The Silent Wound of Self-Neglect. Imagine a vast, ancient oak standing alone on a jagged cliffside, its massive branches reaching out like desperate arms into the howling wind. For years, it has bent and twisted, offering shelter to every bird, every storm-tossed creature that seeks refuge. Its roots, once deep and unyielding, now claw desperately at crumbling soil, starved of the nourishment they crave. This tree doesn't fall, not yet, but it groans under the weight of endless giving. Look closer. See the hollow core, the places where bark peels away, revealing raw, aching wood beneath. That oak is you. You've been standing there, strong on the outside, pouring your strength into everyone around you, family, friends, lovers, even strangers, while your own roots wither in neglect. You've said yes when your soul screamed no. You've smiled through exhaustion, hidden your tears behind a mask of capability, convinced yourself that your needs are secondary, that love is earned by emptying yourself completely. But what happens when the winds howl fiercest? You crack, you lean too far, and one day you might break. Right now, in this quiet space between us, I want you to feel that truth settle into your bones. Self-neglect isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with thunderclaps or dramatic collapses. It's silent, insidious, a slow poison sipped from the cup of good intentions. You've mastered the art of it, haven't you? Skipping meals to finish someone else's project, staying up late to listen to their woes while your own dreams gather dust, apologizing for taking up space, for wanting more than scraps of attention. And all the while, a voice inside whispers, "This is what love looks like. This is what you do." But pause here with me. Breathe in deeply. Let that breath fill the hollow places. What if I told you this isn't love at all? It's surrender. It's a betrayal wrapped in virtue. And the one you've betrayed most deeply? Yourself. You've become a stranger in your own life, tending gardens that aren't yours while your own blooms fade untended. Feel the weight of that, not as shame, but as awakening, because recognizing the wound is the first step to healing it. Let me take you back to Maria, a woman I once knew, not by name, but by the echo of her story in so many lives like yours. She was the pillar of her world. Mornings began at dawn, cooking breakfast for a house full of demands, rushing to a job where she gave her best ideas only to watch others claim the credit. Evenings blurred into nights of consoling her partner's moods, her children's endless needs, her friends' crises. Sleep, a luxury she postponed indefinitely. "I'm fine," she'd say, her smile a perfect shield. But in stolen moments alone, staring at the ceiling, the truth clawed at her. Her body ached with unexplained fatigue. Her mind raced with unnamed resentments. Her heart felt like a clenched fist. One rainy afternoon, it unraveled. A simple spilled cup of tea. Nothing more. And she shattered. Sobs tore from her throat, raw and unrecognizable. "When do I get to live?" she gasped to the empty room. That question hung in the air like a revelation. It wasn't anger at the world, it was grief for the years lost to self-neglect. Maria's story mirrors yours because it's human. We've all danced this dance, taught from cradle to prioritize others as the measure of worth. Parents praised for sharing toys, teachers rewarding the selfless helper, society applauding the martyr. But no one warns you of the cost. A soul parched, a spirit dimmed. Now, let's dig deeper into why this wound festers so quietly. At its root lies a myth we've all swallowed, that our value is conditional, tied to how much we give away. Psychologists call it the depletion model of love. Pour out until you're empty, and somehow you'll be refilled, but science disagrees. Your emotional reserves work like a muscle. Overuse without recovery leads to atrophy. Studies from the field of positive psychology show that chronic givers experience higher rates of burnout, anxiety, depression, even physical illness. Your body keeps score, manifesting neglect as tension, headaches, insomnia, a weakened immune system. It's not punishment. It's a signal. Your inner oak is crying out for water. Yet, here's the profound shift waiting for you. Self-neglect isn't a character flaw. It's a learned habit, wired into your nervous system from moments when vulnerability felt unsafe. Maybe a parent who dismissed your tears, a relationship where your boundaries were steamrolled, a culture that glorifies hustle over healing. Understanding this frees you. It turns blame into compassion. You didn't choose this path carelessly. You survived it masterfully. But survival isn't thriving. Thriving demands a new choice. To water your own roots first. Picture this vividly. You're that oak again, but now the storm passes. Dawn breaks, golden light piercing the mist. You extend roots downward, drawing from a hidden spring, cool, life-giving water surging upward. Leaves unfurl, green and vibrant. Birds still come, but now they perch on branches strong enough to hold them without strain. This is self-prioritization, not selfishness. It's the radical act of claiming your right to exist fully, to flourish without apology. Start small, right here. Place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, a reminder that you are alive, deserving, whole. Whisper to yourself, "My needs matter. My peace is priority." Say it again. Let it sink in. This isn't indulgence, it's reclamation. Begin today by naming one act of neglect you've repeated. That extra hour at work. Decline it. That conversation draining your light. Step away. Each no to the unnecessary is a yes to your essence. As you practice, watch the transformation ripple outward. You'll give from overflow, not depletion. Relationships deepen because you're present, not performing. Energy returns, sharp and clear. Joy bubbles up from places long dry. This is the foundation we're building. No more silent wounds. You've acknowledged the ache. Now honor it with action. But this is just the beginning. The oak doesn't heal in one sunrise. Peeling back the bark reveals layers of old stories, voices that echo louder than your own. What happens when you face the critic within, the one that polices your every move? That's where we journey next. Lean in, your deeper healing awaits. Chapter 2. Unmasking the Inner Critic. Envision a shadowed figure lurking in the corner of a dimly lit room, its face obscured by swirling fog, whispering relentlessly as you try to rest. Each word a dagger, precise and poisoned. You're too weak, too flawed. You'll never measure up. You turn away, but it follows, a constant companion, born not of flesh, but of your own unspoken fears. This isn't a ghost from some haunted tale. This is your inner critic, alive, vigilant, and far more dangerous than any external foe, because it wears your voice. Feel its grip tightening right now. That familiar squeeze in your chest when you doubt a decision, replay a conversation gone wrong, or glimpse your reflection and see only shortcomings. You've carried this shadow for so long, it feels like truth. But I'm here to tell you, it isn't you. It's an imposter, a masterful mimic, forged in the fires of past pains, now masquerading as your guide. Unmasking it isn't about silencing it forever. That's impossible. It's about seeing it clearly, stripping its power, and stepping into the light of your authentic self. This critic didn't arrive fully formed. It grew from seeds planted early. Perhaps a teacher's offhand remark that stuck like burrs, a parent's high expectations that morphed into impossible standards, or a playground rejection that echoed into adulthood. Over time, it learned your vulnerabilities, crafting a repertoire of barbs tailored just for you. Not smart enough, not attractive enough, not worthy of success. It speaks in absolutes, painting your life in black and white, ignoring the vibrant spectrum of your humanity. Consider Javier, a builder with hands calloused from years of honest labor. He dreamed of starting his own small contracting business, pouring his savings into plans and sketches late into the nights. But every step forward brought the critic's assault. Who are you to lead? You'll fail, like your father did. Stick to what you know. Paralyzed, he abandoned the dream, watching opportunities pass while resentment built like storm clouds. One evening, after a particularly brutal self-lashing over a minor mistake on the job, he confronted it. He grabbed a notebook and wrote every accusation down, then beside each the evidence against it, projects completed under deadline, crews he led to safety, families housed because of his skill. Javier's turning point teaches us the first key to unmasking: exposure. Shine a light on the critic's words. Say them aloud if you dare. They lose potency in the open air. Ask, is this fact or fear? Where did it come from? Often, you'll trace it to a moment when you felt small, unprotected. Acknowledging its origin humanizes it, reduces it from tyrant to tired echo. You're not banishing a monster, you're reclaiming a misguided protector that once shielded a vulnerable child. But unmasking demands more than awareness. It requires rebuttal with radical honesty. Your critic thrives on exaggeration, so counter with specifics. When it sneers, you always mess up relationships. List the connections that endured, the friend who stood by you through loss, the mentor who believed in your potential. Science backs this. Cognitive behavioral research shows that disputing distorted thoughts rewires neural pathways, weakening the critic's hold over time. It's like training a wild horse. Consistent, gentle firmness turns chaos into ally. Let me paint a ritual for you, one you can begin tonight. Sit in a quiet space, eyes closed, and invite the critic forward. Visualize it not as a fearsome shadow, but as a weary advisor, cloaked in outdated armor. Thank it for its vigilance. I see you tried to keep me safe, then update its script. That was then. Now I am capable. I learn from stumbles. I deserve to try. Speak your strengths aloud. The quiet resilience that got you through heartbreak. The creativity that solves problems others miss. The kindness that lights rooms. Feel the fog lift, the figure shrink. This isn't fantasy, it's neurology meeting soul. As you practice, notice how the critic's volume drops. It may shout louder at first, desperate to retain control, but persistence prevails. Real-life stories abound. Think of Lena, a single mother juggling 2 jobs and night classes. Her critic hammered her relentlessly. "You're selfish for pursuing this degree. Your kids need you home." She unmasked it by tracking wins, a perfect exam score, a promotion earned through grit, her children's pride in her pursuit. Today, she runs her own consulting firm, proof that challenging the inner voice births outer victory. Yet here's the deeper wisdom. Your critic isn't entirely wrong. It highlights real growth edges. The art lies in discernment, using its nudge without its venom. Yes, I stumbled there, and I'll improve, because I'm committed to my evolution, not perfection. This transforms criticism into compass, fear into fuel. Self-love blooms here, in the space where you honor your whole self, light and shadow, triumph and triumph. Reflect on this truth. Every masterpiece bears the artist's fingerprints, smudges, revisions, bold strokes. Your life is no different. The critic wants a flawless canvas. You deserve the messy beauty of creation. Embrace it. You've unmasked the pretender. Now let your true voice rise. But voices echo from deeper chambers still. What happens when those echoes distort not just thoughts, but the very home they inhabit, your body, the temple you've inhabited yet rarely cherished? That's the terrain ahead. Breathe deep. We're venturing inward together. Chapter 3. The Roots of Worth in Your Body. Step into a sun-dappled glade where an ancient river carves its path through unyielding stone, not in fury, but with patient persistence. Over eons, it etches canyons of breathtaking depth, jagged walls scarred by floods, smoothed by droughts, alive with the patina of time. No river apologizes for its bends or its overflows. It simply flows, shaping the earth in its unique rhythm. Now, turn that gaze inward. Your body is that river, powerful, enduring, marked by the journeys it has weathered. Yet how often have you damned it, criticized its course, wished it straighter, narrower, flawless? Right this instant, pause and sense the miracle beneath your skin. Lungs drawing breath like bellows of life, heart pulsing a steady drumbeat of devotion, muscles woven from countless steps forward. This vessel has cradled you through fevers and falls, births and bereavements, silent victories and shattering losses. It deserves reverence, not ridicule. The roots of your worth burrow deep here, in the flesh that houses your spirit. Loving your body isn't vanity, it's homecoming, a fierce reclaiming of the sacred ground you've long trodden upon with disdain. We've all been conditioned otherwise. Mirrors become battlegrounds, scales judges, magazines dictators of desirability. From adolescence, voices, media, peers, even well-meaning kin, whisper that worth hinges on appearance, slimmer thighs, flawless skin, an idealized form that shifts with trends. You internalize it, turning your gaze into a weapon. A glance in the window sparks inventory. Too soft here, too angular there. Meals become minefields, workouts punishments. This war on your body drains the very vitality it promises to enhance. Meet Sophia, whose story pulses with this truth. A dancer in her youth, she commanded stages with grace until an injury sidelined her dreams. Recovery brought curves she hadn't known, hips widened by healing, skin etched with faint lines of strain. The mirror turned traitor, useless, it seemed to say. She starved the softness, pushed through pain, dimming her inner fire to chase a ghost of former self. Exhaustion mounted, joy fled. Then, in a moment of raw honesty, she stood bare before that same mirror, not to judge, but to witness. She traced each mark, the scar from surgery, a badge of survival, the fullness that spoke of nourishment reclaimed. Tears fell, then laughter. "This is me," she breathed, strong, alive. Sophia's awakening reveals the first root, presence. Stand now wherever you are. Strip away layers if you can. Or simply close your eyes and scan from crown to toes. No critique. Just notice the curve of your shoulder that bore heavy burdens, the veins mapping adventures, the belly that rose and fell with your first cries. These aren't defects, they're dispatches from your history, testaments to endurance. Neuroscience affirms it. Body gratitude activates the parasympathetic system, flooding you with calm, countering stress hormones that fuel self-loathing. Deeper still, understand embodiment as essence. Your body isn't decoration, it's instrument of experience. Every sensation, sun-warmed skin, ocean's chill embrace, lover's tender touch, anchors you in the now. Neglect it, and you float disembodied, anxious, adrift. Honor it, and presence grounds you. Practices abound. Mindful movement, where yoga flows not for shape but sensation. Nourishing eats savored for flavor and fuel, not calories counted. Rest claimed as ritual, not laziness. Feel the shift. Energy surges, mood stabilizes, intuition sharpens. Yet, roots demand tending against thorns. Cultural pressures persist. Ads peddling perfection, social feeds curated illusions. Counter them with cultivation. Curate your inputs. Surround with images of diverse beauty, voices celebrating function over form. Journal nightly, 3 body gifts. A strong back that carries dreams, feet that dance in rain. Over time, neural grooves deepen. Criticism fades to background hum. Consider Thomas, the marathoner who shattered his knee mid-race. Post-surgery, mobility mocked him. His body, once ally, felt enemy. Therapy introduced somatic awareness, breathing into tightness, moving with curiosity. He learned to listen, pain as messenger, not punishment. Today he hikes trails with prosthetic grace. Body no longer foe, but faithful companion. His lesson: adaptation is your superpower. Scars, asymmetries, changes, they enrich the river's tale, making your flow inimitable. Spiritually, this roots you in divinity. Many traditions see the body as temple, soul's earthly vessel. Neglect dishonors the divine spark within. Embrace sanctifies it. Imagine light infusing every cell, worth radiating from core outward. This isn't abstract. It's felt in posture, lifting, gaze softening, steps lightening. You've begun the tending. Feel the roots strengthening, drawing sustenance from soil long fallow. Satisfaction stirs, a quiet power rising, but roots nourish mind too. What patterns of thought choke this growth, demanding rewiring for true acceptance? That's our next path. The river flows onward. Join me. Chapter 4. Rewiring Thoughts for Radical Acceptance. Picture a sprawling neural forest within your skull, where thoughts twist like vines, some lush and life-affirming, others thorny stranglers choking the light. One vine dominates, coiling tight around your core, rejection of what is, a relentless war against your imperfect self. It whispers of what you should be, could be, must be, leaving you stranded in a wasteland of not enough. But halt. Feel the ground shift beneath you. Rewiring isn't demolition, it's masterful pruning, grafting new growth until acceptance blooms wild and free. This forest is your mind, dynamic and malleable, shaped not by fate, but by the paths you tread daily. Radical acceptance roots here. embracing your entirety, flaws as fertile soil, strengths as towering canopies, without the futile fight for perfection. It's liberation from the tyrant's grip of if only, ushering in peace that permeates every cell. You've honored your body's wisdom, now cultivate the mind's garden, where thoughts become allies in self-love's grand design. Why does resistance reign? Evolution wired us for vigilance against threats, but modern minds twist this into self-sabotage. A single misstep, a botched presentation, a heated word, balloons into "I'm a failure," replayed on endless loop. Neuroplasticity, that miraculous capacity for change, holds the key. Brain scans reveal repeated thoughts forge stronger connections, like rivers deepening their beds. Feed rejection, it floods. Nurture acceptance, it carves canyons of calm. Enter the story of Amir, a software engineer whose code always gleamed, except when imposter syndrome struck. "You're faking it," his mind insisted. Despite promotions and praise, projects stalled. Anxiety gnawed. Then a workshop introduced thought tracking. He mapped distortions, all or nothing thinking magnified errors, mind reading assumed unspoken judgments. Beside each, he inscribed reality. One bug doesn't define my skill. Feedback builds mastery. Weeks in, the vines loosen. He launched innovative apps. Confidence no longer counterfeit but cultivated. Amir's path illuminates the practice. Identification first. Tune in like a gardener scouting weeds. When turmoil brews, query, what's the thought fueling this? Label it. Catastrophizing, shoulding, on yourself. Awareness alone weakens its hold. As mindfulness studies confirm, observation creates space. Diffusing automaticity. Next, interrogate with curiosity. Evidence for, against. What's the balanced truth? I struggled today, not failure, but feedback for growth. Elevate with evidence-based reframing. Transform "I can't do this" to "I'm navigating a learning curve," equipped with past successes. Anchor in specifics. Recall that negotiation you nailed, the crisis you calmed. This isn't Pollyanna denial. It's precise recalibration, forging neural highways of resilience. Daily curate inputs, books on growth mindset, podcasts dismantling perfectionism, starving the old vines. Deepen into somatic integration. Thoughts entwine with body. Acceptance demands both. When a harsh loop spins, ground feet on floor, breath deliberate. Visualize the thought as a leaf on your river. Observed, released. Somatic experiencing pioneers note disinterrupts fight or flight, inviting ventral vagal calm where insight flowers, spiritual layers enrich. Many wisdom traditions view the mind as mirror of the divine. Thoughts, transient clouds across infinite sky. Acceptance aligns you with this vastness, dissolving ego's petty wars. Imagine your essence, unchanging light, untouched by mental tempests. Practices like loving kindness, meditation, amplify direct phrases inward. May I be safe, may I be strong, may I accept myself fully. Witness Elena's metamorphosis. A teacher plagued by unworthy narratives from childhood comparisons, she journaled nightly pivots from "I'm inadequate" to "I'm evolving," uniquely equipped. Months later, she mentored with newfound authority, students thriving under her authentic guidance. Her forest? Now a thriving ecosystem. Acceptance its canopy. Challenges arise. Setbacks tempt regression. Meet them as teachers. This discomfort signals rewiring underway. Track progress in a victory ledger. Thoughts shifted, peace sustained. Over time, automatic acceptance emerges. The old voice fades to murmur. Feel the garden thrive? Vines yield to blossoms, thoughts harmonizing with your worth. Radical acceptance isn't endpoint, it's momentum propelling deeper integration. Yet gardens need guardians, boundaries shielding tender shoots from invasive overgrowth. How do you fortify without isolation? Our next chapter unveils that art. The path beckons onward. Chapter 5: Boundaries as Acts of Devotion. Imagine a luminous garden encircled by a living wall of woven vines, thorny yet blooming, impenetrable to marauding winds and trampling feet, yet welcoming to hummingbirds and gentle rain. Within, flowers unfurl in riotous color, roots delving deep into nourished earth, thriving in protected splendor. This isn't isolation, it's intention, a sacred enclosure where beauty flourishes unmolested. Now bring that vision home. Your life is that garden. Boundaries are its devoted guardians, not barriers of selfishness, but bold declarations of worth. Feel the truth resonate. You've rewired thoughts toward acceptance. Yet without boundaries, chaos encroaches, demands devouring your peace, relationships ransacking your reserves. Boundaries redefine self-love as devotion, honoring your sacred space first, allowing authentic giving to flow from fullness. They're the difference between a life of resentment and one of radiant reciprocity. No more porous edges, yielding to every pull. Instead, firm lines drawn with love's steady hand. This practice shatters a pervasive myth that true care means boundless availability. Society lionizes the yes person, the friend who drops everything, the partner who molds endlessly, the worker who burns midnight oil. But observe the fallout: depleted souls, frayed bonds, simmering bitterness. Psychology illuminates why personal agency thrives on autonomy. Boundaries preserve it, fostering trust and respect in connections. Without them, you signal your essence as optional, eroding self-regard. Recall Priya, a healer whose empathy overflowed into exhaustion. Clients called at dawn, family commandeered weekends, friends vented endlessly without reciprocity. Her garden wilted, creativity choked, health faltered. Awakening came during a retreat. My yes must birth from choice, not obligation. She scripted responses. I cherish our talks. Let's schedule for Thursday. Initial resistance stung, accusations of coldness, but clarity emerged. Clients deepened in structured sessions. Loved ones stepped up. Her energy soared, healing sharper. Priya's arc unveils the blueprint. Clarity precedes action. Inventory your encroachments, time thieves, emotional vampires, habitual overextensions. Ask, does this align with my values? Nourish my peace. Drains get a gracious no. I appreciate the ask, but I can't commit now. Delivery matters. Calm, firm, without justification. Practice in mirror eye contact, steady, voice resonant. This isn't defense, it's discernment. Types vary. Time, protected hours for solitude. Emotional, limiting venting marathons. Physical, personal space, honored. Energetic, curtailing, draining dynamics. Spiritual traditions echo this, circles of influence, discerning wheat from chaff. Envision your boundary as glowing filament, filtering light while repelling shadow. Affirm daily, I am sovereign in my sanctuary. Resistance looms, guilt's sharp hook, fear of abandonment. Lean into it. Discomfort signals expansion. Journal post-boundary. What freed up? How did peace expand? Evidence builds conviction. Relationships evolve. Superficial ties fade. Profound ones strengthen through mutual honor. Science supports. Assertiveness correlates with higher life satisfaction, lower stress, deeper. Boundaries mirror divine order. Creation's inherent limits. birthing diversity, oceans held by shores, seasons by solstices. Your limits aren't lax, they're designs for flourishing. Infuse, ritual, visualizing closing light at day's start, reinforcing at dusk. When breached, recenter without self-reproach. I reclaim my space now. Meet Kai, the community organizer stretched thin by endless causes. No, felt traitorous until burnout hospitalized him. Recovery forged new devotion, prioritized initiatives, delegated freely. Impact magnified movements gained momentum from his sustained fire. Kai's testament. Boundaries amplify legacy. Challenges persist. Persistent intruders. Internal pleas to please. Fortify with allies. Accountability partners. Therapy for entrenched patterns. Celebrate victories. A reclaimed evening. A deepened dialogue. Your garden blooms fuller fragrance, drawing true pollinators. Sense the devotion deepen. Boundaries aren't walls, they're worship, tending your soul's holy ground. Fulfillment swells, readiness stirs, yet even fortified gardens require mercy for their keeper, self-compassion, turning thorns to balm. How does that grace transmute inner harshness? Our journey turns there next. The vines part invitingly. Chapter 6. The Alchemy of Self-Compassion. Witness a humble forge in twilight's glow, where raw lead, dull, heavy, burdened, meets the alchemist's fire. Hammer strikes, heat tempers, impurities melt away, transmuting base metal into gleaming gold, resilient and radiant. No force, no erasure, just patient transformation through tender flame. This is self-compassion, the sacred alchemy, turning your leaden self-judgments into golden grace. Feel the heat kindling now. It's calling you to the anvil of your heart. You've fortified boundaries as devotion. Now, turn that sacred gaze inward. Self-compassion isn't soft indulgence or evasion of growth. It's the crucible where pain forges wisdom, where you befriend your stumbles with the gentleness you'd offer a cherished wanderer lost in storm. It dissolves the whip of perfectionism, birthing resilience that withstands life's tempests. Here, self-love deepens from concept to embodied art. Why withhold this elixir from yourself? Habitual self-criticism, that inner lash for every shortfall, stems from survival's forge, early wounds teaching toughen up as safety. Yet research in effective neuroscience reveals its toll. Cortisol spikes mimic physical wounds, eroding health, dimming creativity. Compassion counters, activating oxytocin pathways of bonding, even with self-accelerating healing, enhancing motivation. It's not weakness, it's wisdom's edge. Journey with Nora, a violinist whose fingers faltered during a pivotal recital. Notes soured, audience blurred. Backstage, the critic raged. Disgrace. Quit now. Collapse followed. Tears. Isolation. A mentor intervened. Speak to yourself as to a dear student. Nora tried. This hurts. You've practiced devotedly. Rest, then rise. That pivot sparked alchemy. She analyzed recordings without venom, refined technique through kind iteration. Her next performance soared, infused with human depth that moved hearts. Nora's forge lights the way. Trifold practice. First, acknowledge suffering mindfully. When error stings, pause. This is painful. I'm struggling. Name it without fusion. Emotion observed, not owned. Second, invoke common humanity. All falter. Striving souls stumble universally. Isolation shatters. Connection emerges. Third, offer kindness. Cradle the hurt with warmth. May I ease this? I'm worthy of patience. Hand on heart, words sincere. Studies validate this triad rivals therapy in efficacy. Rewiring shame to strength. Embed daily rituals. Morning compassion letter to self, detailing a recent challenge met with grace. Evening review stumbles through forgiving lens. What seed of growth hides here? Visualize lead lump in your palms, fire enveloping softly, gold emerging pure. Somatic anchors amplify, warm breath on tense spots, affirming, I hold space for all of me. Spiritual resonance amplifies. Ancient mystics, new mercy as divine reflection. Unconditional holding mirroring creation's embrace. In this light, self-compassion honors your spark, polishing it free of dross. Imagine golden essence radiating, untouched by mishaps, yet alchemy tests fire's heat. Resistance flares, guilt deeming compassion, lazy, perfectionism scorning imperfect efforts. Meet it, even this doubt deserves tenderness. Track transformations, anxiety yielding to calm, risks embraced bolder, creativity unbound. Behold Marcus, architect haunted by a collapsed bridge design, fault minor, fallout massive, self-lashing paralyzed revisions, embracing compassion. This wounds deeply, every innovator errs, freed insight. Redesigned structure now stands iconic. Is compassion catalyzing innovation? Obstacles like cultural stoicism or traumas, scars demand patience. Seek guides if shadows thicken. Celebrate increments, a kinder inner dialogue, swifter recovery from falls. Your inner forge glows brighter, gold veins threading through. Taste the transmutation. Lead lifts to luminosity, self now sovereign ally, profound peace, settle, but gardens thrive in quiet too. Solitude's gifts, nurturing solitary roots. What revelations await in aloneness embraced? The forge cools, new horizons dawn. Step forward. Chapter 7. Celebrating solitude's gifts. Drift into a secluded mountain hermitage at dusk, where the world falls away like shed leaves. City clamor silenced, obligations evaporated. Only the whisper of wind through pines and the crackle of a solitary fire. No audience, no demands, just you, unfolding like a fern in moonlight's hush. This isn't exile, it's revelation. Solitude wraps you in its velvet cloak, unveiling gifts, long overshadowed by the roar of togetherness. Lean into its embrace now, your truest self awaits discovery. You've alchemized compassion within guarded bounds. Solitude elevates it to intimate communion. Far from loneliness' spectre, it's self-love's sanctuary space to hear your unfiltered song, uncluttered by external echoes. Here, clarity crystallizes, creativity ignites, resilience roots profoundly. Society peddles constant connection as panacea, yet solitude's quiet potency forges unbreakable inner sovereignty. Roots traced to humanity's dawn. Hermits, visionaries, sages sought aloneness for enlightenment. Buddha under the Bodhi, poets in attics birthing masterpieces. Modern frenzy, endless pings, social scrolls, starves this need, breeding shallow bonds and inner static. Neuroscience concurs. Solo time boosts default mode network, fostering insight, memory consolidation, emotional regulation. It's neural nectar, distilling essence from noise. Enter Lila, curator of bustling galleries, whose days blurred in relational world networking luncheons, family mediations, friend crises, evenings collapsed into numbness. Who am I without them? She pondered. A sabbatical enforced solitude, dawn hikes, sans phone, afternoons journaling unchained thoughts. Gifts emerged, buried passion for poetry resurfaced, in verse etched on napkins, buried grief from a lost sibling surfaced, healed in tears catharsis, returning, her curation transformed, infused with authentic vision, relationships selective and deep. Lila's harvest maps the terrain. Intentional immersion. Begin modestly. No grand retreats needed. Carve pockets. Morning coffee in silence. Noting breath's rhythm. Evening walks, earbuds free. Senses alive to rustle and scent. Silence amplifies intuition's murmur. What delights me unprompted, pursuits bloom. Sketching idle fancies, reading forgotten tomes, simply being, deepened discovery. Solitude's mirror reflects unvarnished truth. Confront shadows, fears masked by company, dreams deferred. Journal prompts pierce. What voices arise alone? What joys unbound? Resistance, restlessness, boredom's itch, signals detox from distraction. Breathe through. This discomfort births freedom. Gifts multiply, enhanced empathy, self-understood. Others clearer, sharpened focus, mind decluttered. Spiritual attunement, divine whispers audible. Spiritual vistas expand. Solitude as soul's native tongue. Echoing mystics' union with infinite, visualize inner chamber, velvet cushions, candle flicker inviting essences dialogue. Practices. Breath, meditation, anchoring presence. Nature immersion mirroring vast self-sufficiency. Yet, urban pulses, challenge, FOMO's, siren, habits pull. Counter, ritualize, phone in drawer, do not disturb, as devotion. Track yields, post-solitude, decisions keener, energy renewed. Relationships enrich, presence fuller, not frantic. Witness, Theo. Inventor stifled by collaborative chaos. Solitude's mandate, weekends unplugged, unleashed prototypes from subconscious streams. Patent secured, team marveled at his clarity. Theo's proof, aloneness amplifies collective power. Pitfalls like avoidance lurk. Solitude twisted to isolation. Discern nourishing hush versus evasive retreat. Balance with selective bonds. Solitude fuels, doesn't replace. Celebrate micro wins. 10 minutes peace, yielding epiphany. Feel gifts crystallize. Solitude no longer void, but vault of treasures, self-intimately known, vibrantly alive. Quiet power surges, but even gems dim under grudges weight, past chains begging release. How does forgiveness unburden the soul? Solitude's calm precedes that liberation. The hermitage door swings wider. Chapter 8. Forgiveness. Freeing your own chains. Envision a colossal iron anchor, rusted and barnacle encrusted, dragging at the depths of a restless sea, its chain coiled tight around your ankle, pulling every stroke toward murky abyss. You've hauled it for years, mistaking its weight for justice, its bite for protection, but surface now, gasp the air you crave. Forgiveness is the bolt cutter, severing self-imposed shackles, propelling you into boundless currents. Feel the chains slacken. Liberation beckon. Solitude's gifts have illuminated your depths. Forgiveness clears the debris, unburdening your voyage. This isn't pardoning harms inflicted, though it may touch them, but releasing the venom you swallow daily against yourself. For every misstep hoarded, every failure replayed, you forge chains anew. Self-forgiveness dissolves them, reclaiming energy bound in grudges' grip, birthing freedom to love unhindered. Grudges, self-directed, fester silently, masquerading as motivation. I'll never err again, you vow, wielding shame's whip. Yet psychology unveils the paradox. Self-forgiveness accelerates growth, reducing anxiety, enhancing decision-making. Neuroimaging shows grudge-holding activates amygdala's alarm, while release ignites prefrontal clarity. It's physiological emancipation, heart lighter, spirit airborne. Meet Ronan, veteran sailor, whose navigational blunder stranded his crew in storm-lashed waters. All survived, but guilt anchored him. My fault. Unforgivable. Years later, career stalled, relationships strained, the chain dragged. Therapy prompted excavation. He penned the error's tale from hubris to heroism in rescue. Then a letter to his reckless captain self. You acted with knowledge then. Lessons learned. I release you to steer anew. Burning the pages symbolized severance, sails filled. He captained fleets, mentoring with hard-won wisdom. Ronan's release charts the course. Excavation precedes emancipation. Unearth the grudge. Specific incident. Emotions tethered. Anger, shame, regret. Narrate without judgment. That day I chose poorly because contextualize humanity. Fatigue, inexperience. Limits universal, then ritualize release. Letter penned in detail. Read aloud. Destroyed by fire or water. Speak absolution. I forgive you. We integrate this lesson. Moving unencumbered. Layer with embodiment. Visualize chain dissolving in light. Body scanning for residual tension. Breathe, release. Affirm. Past secured, future freed. Daily echoes reinforce. Morning mantra, evening gratitude for growth gleaned. Spiritual strata deepen. Forgiveness mirrors cosmic renewal. Seasons shedding decay for spring surge. Grace outpacing fault. Traditions worldwide ritualize it. Expiation circles, atonement meditations, affirming soul's inherent purity beyond error. Envision your essence as eternal ocean, ripples of mistake fading harmlessly. Resistance surges. Justice demands suffering, repetition threatens. Counter, punishment paid, wisdom gained. Forward now. Track freedoms, energy redirected, creativity unchained. Relationships heal, collateral. Resentments bleed, staunched. Witness mirror, chef whose innovative dish sickened patrons, minor allergen oversight, profound fallout. Self-exile followed, kitchen abandoned, dreams drowned, solitude birthed confrontation, forgiveness letter transformed toxin to tonic. Relaunched, eatery thrives, menu pioneering safe innovations. Mirror's voyage, chains sunk, sails full. Hurdles like deep trauma invite allies, counselors guiding safe severance. Celebrate milestones, grudge dissolved, lightness dawning. Your sea clears, horizon vasten. Taste unchained motion. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's freeing, self-sovereign, love unbound. Exhilaration builds, yet liberated hearts crave delight. Every day sparks, kindling sustained radiance. How do you harvest joy's quiet harvest? Chains lift, joy's path gleams ahead. Venture on. Chapter 9. Crafting joy from everyday moments. Awaken to a dew-kissed meadow at first light, where ordinary blades of grass shimmer like emeralds under tentative sun, each droplet a prism, scattering rainbows. Humble wildflowers nodding secrets to the breeze. No grand spectacles, yet the air hums with quiet ecstasy. This is joy's essence. Not thunderous peaks, but persistent sparks kindled from the mundane. Ignite them now, your heart hungers for this alchemy. Forgiveness has severed chains, joy perpetuates flight, weaving delight into self-love's fabric. Far from elusive prize, joy crafts deliberately from overlooked instants. Coffee's steam curling, aromatic, laughter bubbling unbidden, sunlight dappling skin. Its intentional harvest, transforming routine into rapture, sustaining spirit through tempests. Why defer delight to someday? Conditioning fixates on milestones, promotion, romance, eclipsing now's bounty. Positive psychology's hedonic treadmill explains Achievements adapt. Joy fleeting, unless anchored daily. Neurochemically, micro-moments trigger dopamine, serotonin, fortifying resilience, countering default negativity bias. Cultivate them, joy becomes baseline, not bone. Consider Aria, florist, whose days blurred in repetitive bouquets, deadlines, wilted deliveries, joy for others, she sighed. Hers wilted too. A challenge shifted. 3 delights noted daily. Dawn's petal blush. Soil's earthy tang under nails. Customers gasp at perfect posy. Notebook filled. Awareness sharpened. She innovated sensory arrangements. Scents evoking memory. Textures inviting touch. Shop buzzed. Her vitality bloomed. Relationships sweetened by shared spark. Aria's bouquet guides cultivation. Keen observation seeds the craft. Hunt deliberately. Senses engaged. What textures tantalize. Scents seduce. Sounds soothe. Evening ritual. List 3. Rain patter on window. Spice blooming in stew. Stretch satisfying crack. No repeats. Variety sparks. Novelty. Amplify with immersion. Slow motion savoring. Sip tea tracing steams dance. Warmth spreading. Walk barefoot feeling earth's pulse. Play dance impromptu to radio whims. Doodle absurdities. Gratitude amplifies. Whisper thanks to moment's giver. This breath, gift, spiritual infusion, elevates. Mystics found divine in ordinary. Bread broken as sacrament, breath as prana, view instants as universes wink. Joy, soul's native frequency, meditate on abundance. Plenty unfolds eternally. Obstacles loom, cynicisms veil, businesses blur. Pierce, even shadow holds light. Track mood, lifts post-practice, evidence erodes doubt. Share sparingly joy's core personal contagion bonus. Witness Jamal, mechanic elbow deep in grease, resenting monotony. Delight hunt unearth. Engines purr like purring cat. Tools precise heft. Camaraderie's banter. Workshop evolved. Client stories swapped over coffee rituals. Pride swelled. Calling reclaimed. Challenges like sorrow persist. Joy honors grief, not denies. Dual embrace. Tears valid. Sparks sought amid. Resilience forges here. Dopamine rebounds stronger. Sustain through seasons. Seasonal attunements. Winter hygge, summer swims. Community subtly. Joy circles, swapping micro-wonders. Your inner meadow flourishes, self-nourished. Relish the radiance. Every day transmutes to extraordinary joy your constant companion. Effervescence lingers, but sustained flight graces. Shared skies, relationships mirroring worth. Amplifying light. How do bonds evolve when self adorns? Joy's meadow yields to relational realms. The path sparkles onward. Chapter 10. Relationships that mirror your worth. Gaze upon a crystal pond at twilight, its surface a flawless mirror, reflecting starlit skies, not distorting, not demanding, but revealing the cosmos's splendor in perfect parity. Ripples from a tossed stone, they dance briefly, then still, clarity restored. This is the bond. Self-love begets relationships as true mirrors, echoing your inherent worth without fracture or flattery. Dive in, see yourself exalted. Joy's sparks illuminate solo. Now they kindle communal flames. Self-love revolutionizes connections, not seeking completion, but celebrating wholeness side by side. You cease crumbs for whole trades, drawing equals who honor your light, fostering reciprocity where both thrive magnified. Dynamics shift profoundly. Prior patterns, dimming to fit, over-giving for scraps, dissolve. Quantum entanglement of souls applies. Embody high vibration, attract resonance. Low worth pulls rescuers, drainers. Sovereignty summons celebrants, co-creators. Psychology's attachment theory affirms secure self-bonds securely, nurturing mutual growth. Recall Selena, artist once ensnared in dimmer boyfriend critiquing strokes. Friends competing covertly. Self-neglect masked as devotion. Post-awakening audit. Does this reflect my radiance? Prunings ensued. Conversations clarified. I value us. Let's uplift mutually. New circles formed. Collaborators brainstorming nocturnally. Lovers admiring her fire. Creations exploded. Heart overflowed. Selena's prism reveals discernment. Mirror test. Query interactions. Am I seen wholly? Celebrated uniquely. Energized post-exchange. Green lights advance. Yellows communicate. Reds release kindly. Communication crafts clarity. I cherish our bond. This boundary honors my peace. Vulnerability invites vulnerability. Depth ensues. Nurture mutuality. Active mirroring. Reflect their worth too. Celebrate wins. Hold space for shadows. Rituals bind. Shared sunrises. Pondering dreams. Gratitude exchanges. Amplifying abundance. Conflict approaches evolution. What wisdom hides here for us? Spiritual synergy elevates souls as facets of one light. Relationships prisms, scattering brilliance. Tantric wisdom whispers union beyond ego. Self-full you merge without loss. Visualize bonds as luminous threads weaving cosmic tapestry. Pitfalls tempt old rescuers please. Loneliness faint. Anchor. My worth independent companionship enhances. Audit quarterly, relational ROI, nourishment net positive. Boundaries flex, never fracture. Witness Dario. Engineer in transactional ties. Colleagues exploiting overtime, partner distant. Worth reclamation prompted. I engage as equal. Proposals pitched boldly. No's honored. Team respected boundaries. Innovations sparked. Romantic match emerged. Adventurer mirroring his zest. Life symphony harmonized. Challenges like betrayal scars demand vigilance. Trust rebuilds gradually. Therapy hones navigation. Celebrate evolutions. Conflicts resolved richer. Intimacies profounder. Feel mirrors polish brighter. Relationships exalt, not eclipse. Self-love symphony crescendos. Yet symphonies weather gales. Storms testing orchestration. How sustain harmony amid fury. Relational mirrors gleam. Endurance beckons next. The pond stills deeper. Chapter 11. Sustaining self-love through storms. Behold a mighty redwood piercing storm-racked skies. Lightning fracturing darkness. Gales howling fury. Roots like ancient claws gripping earth through deluge. It sways, bends, never breaks, drawing unshakable strength from depths unseen. This is self-love matured, not fragile bloom, but enduring colossus weathering tempests. Anchor now your inner redwood calls to rise. Mirrored bonds enrich storms, test their weave. And yours. Sustainability demands rituals as roots, habits as bark, fortifying love amid loss, betrayal, failure's gale. Self-love endures not despite adversity, but through it emerging tempered, taller. Life's cyclones, redundancies sting, heartbreaks torrent. Health's betrayal assault foundations. Without moorings, doubt erodes gains. Resilient science spotlights. Proactive rituals preempt collapse. Post-trauma growth. Surges via intentional rebound. Your redwood thrives on deliberate depth. Enter Vale, navigator whose vessel shattered on hidden reefs. Career voyage wrecked, savings sunk. despair loomed, roots recalled. Dawn affirmation, I am resilient core, etched mirror side. Movement ritual, coastal strides, channeling fury to focus. Journaling transmuted pain. This wreck reveals sturdier ship, community selective. Mentors counsel, not pity. Rebuilt enterprise outshone, original lessons laser. Vales Grove maps, sustainment. Layered rituals, anchor daily. Morning mirror vow, worthy always, even whispered through sobs. Movement as medicine, yoga flows, grounding chaos, endorphins, elixir. Rest rebellion, sleep sanctuaries, defy hustle's myth. Nutrition sacrament, meals fueling not filling. Crisis escalation, storm protocol, sense emotion fully, no suppression. Trace triggers mindfully, offer compassion inward. Reclaim ritual sequence, mobilize micro wins, tidy draw, kind call, post calm, wisdom harvest, growth gleaned. Spiritual bedrock bolsters, redwood as axis mundi, storm's divine forge. Meditations invoke, I am vast as sky, encompassing gale. Elemental rites, barefoot earth communion, waters low mirroring release. Pitfalls ambush, regressions undertow. Isolation's snare, counter. Accountability allies, tracking rituals, apps, logging streaks. Flexibility key, gales demand adaptation, not rigidity. Witness Leora, caregiver eroded by parents' decline. Resentment rooted, storm hit, diagnosis worsened. Rituals revived, breath anchors, amid vigils, gratitude jars noting fleeting mercies, sunlit smiles, shared tales, legacy shifted, presence pure post-loss. She authored guides, honoring forged fortitude. Hurdles like chronic assault, illness, marathons, invite communal roots, support circles, professional anchors. Celebrate endurance, survival tallies, phoenix phases. Redwood's canopy spreads wider. Feel unyielding poise. Storms sculpt, don't shatter. Self-love, eternal North Star. Vitality pulses. Yet summits crown journeys, eternal flame beckoning finales blaze. How integrate all into timeless blaze? Roots grip, pinnacle awaits. Ascend. Chapter 12. The Eternal Flame Within. Stand atop a windswept promontory, as eternal flame erupts from Earth's core, untouched by blizzard's lash, monsoon deluge, or scorching drought. It dances fierce, casting golden glow across roiling seas, drawing moths and dreamers alike. This fire mirrors your essence, self-love, as imperishable blaze, kindled through every chapter's forge, now sovereign within. Ignite it fully, your destiny burns bright. We've traversed shadowed vales, neglect unmasked, critic silenced, body revered, thoughts rewired, boundaries drawn, compassion alchemized, solitude savored, forgiveness freed, joy harvested, bonds mirrored, storms endured. Each layer peels illusion, unveiling core flame. You supremely worthy, loving self above all distortions. This pinnacle integrates, eternalizing the glow. Flame's secret? Lifelong tending conscious fuel, vigilant windshield. Recall seeds sown, mirror affirmations dawn and dusk. I am my fiercest devotee. Body temples honored with movement's grace. Nourishment's right. Thought gardens prune daily. Acceptance anchoring, boundary vines ever trimmed, compassion's bellows fanning, solitude's hearth restocked, forgiveness pyres regularly lit, joy sparks perpetual, relational prisms polished, storm rituals etched neural deep, integration, birth's effortlessness, self-love autonomic, like breath, intuitive, unwavering, challenges, fuel, Setbacks transmute via toolkit. Storm protocol amplified. Joy hunts mid-gale. Solitude snatched amid fray. Community evolves. Tribes mirroring flame not dimming. Spiritual apotheosis dawns. You, as fractal of infinite fire source code. Divine, every cell chanting worth. Mystical unions await. Meditative mergence, where self dissolves into all, reborn fiercer. Visualize flame at solar plexus roaring, radiating universes. Loving self summons cosmic reciprocity. Legacies ignite. Unapologetic living inspires ripples. Children modeling sovereignty, workplaces blooming authenticity, worlds softened by your blaze. No half measures, supreme self-love cascades. Witness Alara, tapestry weaver, threading our journey, neglects oak rooted firm. Critic evicted, body river revered, thoughts grafted anew, boundaries walled, sacred, compassion gilded. Led, solitude, hermitage yielded. Verse, forgiveness, sank anchors, joy wove daily hues. Bonds mirrored true, storms bent unbreaking redwood. Her loom now births epics, galleries gasp, seekers transformed. Alara's weave, life's masterpiece, self-love warp and weft. Sustain via legacy ledger. Quarterly audits, flame brighter, impacts radiant. Adjust tenderly, celebrate boldly. Flames promise, aging graces, not graze. Trials temper, not tarnish. Pitfalls flicker, complacencies draft. External gusts, eternal vigilance. Weekly renewal rites. Solitude bonfire, communal flame sharing. Your light, inexhaustible. Feel conflagration consume doubt. Eternal flame roars you. Origin and apex, loving self supremely. Ecstasy eternalizes. As echoes fade, carry this blaze undimmed. You've not merely journeyed, you've become the fire. Live it ablaze, beloved sovereign. The cosmos bows.